That turned out nice. Okay. Oh, that turned out nice. Way better than I could have ever expected it. Okay. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Greenhouse Cafe. I didn't even grab my tea, but that's okay because what I had to say is not going to take very long. Um, I got a lot of inboxes and a lot of comments in the section. Good morning, Sunday Backyard Farmer. What's up, my brother? Chrissy Johnson, a patient saint. How you doing? Got a lot of people this morning. Good morning to everybody coming in the chat. A lot of people were commenting and emailing me about their dreams. About, we're talking about land ownership, home ownership, whether you believe in it or not. That's just like politics now, I guess. Something I just don't want to talk about with people that feel that that's a bad idea. Um, So if you don't really believe in home ownership, land ownership, you don't have to inject into this conversation. You clearly see right out the gate that this is something you don't believe in, so you don't have to interact with the people that do want to own land and the people that do want to own home and home ownership. So with that being said, for the people that emailed me and the people that reached out to me, contacted me in one way, form, or fashion, you can wake up now. You can stop dreaming. What made me think of this was we all had dreams being younger, right? We all had dreams. You can even state your dreams right here in the chat if you wanted to. Like, I'm going to tell you mine and I'll let you go from there, kind of give you an example of what I'm talking about. When I was younger, and I'm not a child, but just a younger man, my dreams, which I thought were my dreams. My dreams were not really my dreams. My dreams were everybody else's dreams. My dreams were I wanted a big, gigantic house. I wanted a lot of children. I wanted a bunch of fancy cars in the driveway. I wanted a gigantic yard so all my kids can play in. For some reason, I wanted a bunch of dogs. Like I said, somebody else's dream, right? I wanted this great job in some factory, or I wanted to be a carpenter. I wanted to make a lot of money. And here's the funniest part, I wanted to be surrounded by a lot of people all the time. Like the party scene, right? I got all this money, I got all of this wealth, and I have all of these people and friends around me, and all always meeting up at this big giant house. And those those dreams were taught to me. Oh, I forgot, going to college, some long college, and becoming some important person, learning all the frat stomps and everything else. And that was somebody else's dream. So as I got older, the more I've been battling myself, like, this is not me. Because every time you conquer one of those goals that was on your dream list, it don't fit right. It's like you've always wanted this one fancy pair of shoes, expensive pair of shoes, but you mess around and finally got them and they look terrible on you, or they fit terrible. They're beautiful shoes. They just don't fit right. They're not comfortable. That's the same way as some of our dreams are. We look at somebody else's accomplishments and dreams and figure, I want to do that someday. But then you finally achieve that goal and it doesn't quite fit. It's just not you. So I'm going to say this. I love my home. I love my home here. You know, I do. There's one problem with it. One of my dreams of being surrounded by a bunch of people, that wasn't my dream. That's just what everybody else did as I grew up. Everybody wanted to be in these big fancy neighborhoods and, be surrounded and everybody at your barbecue all the time. You know what I'm saying? Club meetings in the neighborhood and stuff. That wasn't my dream. That was something that I saw growing up, and I thought that was right, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And nah, not for me. Being in a big house, part of being in a big house with that dream was having a bunch of children. Even though I wish I would have had maybe one or two more children, three was enough. Three was rough. Three was woo. Okay. So we cut we cut that off quick. So with only having three children, having, the goal of the big 5 bedroom home was kind of like, you start turning bedrooms into offices and you start turning bedrooms into laundry rooms, storage rooms. After a while, it gets ridiculous, right? Then you got to clean that big, gigantic house. So a lot of your time goes to cleaning it. Is that what I want to spend all my time doing? No. The other part of my dream, working in some big fancy factory, making a lot of money, making somebody else rich. That was just what I grew up thinking that you had to do. Everybody was born with that thing in their head of, you know, being the boss and working in this factory, but we never know the implications go in with that. Like you're working for somebody else, they're making tons of money, they're giving you crumbs, you're working your tail off, you're never home because you're always working, trying to afford this dream that really belongs to somebody else. So you're working and tearing your spine out like predator, trying to afford a dream that does not even really belong to you, nor does it fit or is it comfortable. As I get older, I start to realize every one of my dreams that I had when I was younger, I've accomplished a lot of them. And with that, start realizing that's not me. I One of my dreams, living around a bunch of rich people. Oh my God, I don't know where that came from. I guess I watched too many episodes of Miami Vice. I don't know. That's not me at all. Living around a bunch of well-to-do people, the part about that is I just don't have that kind of personality. I like pickup trucks and Jeeps. I'm not really into a lot of high end vehicles like, Mercedes, BMW. That's just never really been my thing. I like mudding, I like four-wheelers, I like loud motorcycles, I like dirt biking. I like mini bikes. I'm that neighbor. I'm that one that they like. I cannot wait till he moves. I cannot wait till he sells the house. I'm not the kind of person who gives two nickels about lawn care. I don't care about grass. I do not. Listen, I have never cared about grass. I cut my grass just enough to keep the man off my back. I just do not care. Um, I think I think anywhere grass grows should be some food growing. I've always felt that way. So I'm not the kind of person that cuts my grass every single day. Is people that I live around, if they don't have a lawnmower in their hand going, you guys been with me out here while I'm live. If they don't have a lawnmower going, they have a weed whacker. If they don't have a weed whacker, they have a leaf blower. If they don't have a leaf blower, it's always something where I see a lot of people spending the time that they should be in there with their wives or husbands in the yard with a leaf blower. Instead of working on their marriage and working on their relationship, they're working on their lawn. And I'm like, mm, it's just not me. I'm not knocking nobody else that does it. It's not me. And that's part of the dream where I stand out like a sore thumb because I still got a pile of leaves in my front yard from the fall and it's almost spring. I could care less because I look at those leaves as fuel for my garden, and other people look at dead leaves as a nuisance. So that's where we have big differences in my dreamscape, where I'm slowly realizing living in a well-to-do neighborhood around a lot of well-to-do people with manicured lawns is not my real dream. I like my house. I love my house. I just wish, how many people wish that you could just take your house and pick it up and move it somewhere else. If I could just pick my house up and just take it and put it on my land, I would be golden. Like in the middle of nowhere, no neighbors, but take my house with me. Oh, but we all know that that is not realistic most of the time for most people. You can do that. It will cost you a fortune. It'll probably cost you just as much as it would just going to have a house built, a replica of the one you live in already. If I could just take this house and move it around people like me, or around no people, but you can't do that. So I'm here today to tell you the title was Stop Dreaming, it's time to wake up. What I meant by that is your dreams really your dreams? Or are your dreams you've been dreaming about all this time really someone else's? Maybe your dreams are just things you've been taught and you've been around your whole life. So you think these dreams are yours. Remember the little house with the white picket fence and the little dog? That's the American dream, right? It's not everybody's dream. Some people's dream is to live out on land. And some people's, my real dream is to live, not in the middle of nowhere, but I want acreage between me and my neighbors. And my other dream is, I don't want to work for nobody. I want everything that I need to be produced from the earth. I don't want to have to depend on, even though you do have to depend on people at times, but for the most part of our living, we have created a false narrative of living where we literally need to we have become a people that depends on someone else all of the time, and you rely on yourself barely. I want to reverse that in my life. I want to do everything that I possibly can myself and then have to depend on somebody when I have to, like, if I have to go to the hospital and, I just can't reach in and take some of my guts out and fix them. If I have to go, then I have to go. But for the most part, if I eat better and consume better foods, my health will be to the point I don't have to, every time I get a sniffle, that I don't have to go to the doctor. Every time I get a cut or a bruise, I don't have to go to the doctor. A lot of that healing goes into what you put inside your body. And I'm truly working on that because I'm working on my real dream. So, um, just wanted to let you guys know some people don't Some people's dream is what I'm living now. They want to live in a well-to-do neighborhood, around a lot of well-to-do people, surrounded by a bunch of people all the time. It's just not my thing. And the older I get, I'm fighting it. I find myself fighting that. Like, the reason I say I find myself fighting that is because sometimes it's like, am I kicking a gift horse? Am I pissing on my blessings? You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm thinking. Am I pissing on my blessings? And no, I'm not. I'm just realizing the things that I was asking God for. That's why they say careful what you pray for, right? Careful what you pray for, you just may get it. That comes in several different forms. And sometimes you think you want something. Oh Lord, please, I want this woman with me. I want to marry this woman. I want to be with this woman. Lord, give her to me, please, Lord, and keep her with me for all time. Maybe he was keeping her away from you because he knows she ain't good for you. And he like, okay, you really, really want to be with this woman. You're about to find out. You end up marrying her, and she put your whole life through piping hot hell and be like, hey. Then you come back to him like, Lord, Lord, please, please let me not do nothing bad to her. Lord, please just let her leave me alone and go away. Please, Lord, I please, you know. Oh man. So you know what I'm saying. Thank you, Uncle Sam. I just happened to look down and see that. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. Um, I don't know why I don't have a chat here, but it is what it is. But you understand what I'm saying, you guys. It's it's time to wake up and really truly start thinking about what is it that you really want before you ask. There are some people that do want to own land and live on land, but you have no idea what that what it takes to live out there. So all I can say is before you start wishing on a star and all of that jazz, maybe you should do more research and really research your real dreams and find out, is this what you really want? Instead of spending so much time. I'm about to be 50 years old next month, and I've spent a lot of my life trying to get the bigger house, the more cars. You understand what I'm saying? And realizing now at the age 50 of, that's not what I want at all. You kind of want to be left alone, open spaces. I don't want to hear the noise of the city. That's why when I lived in the city, I did everything in my power to come out of it all the time. I spent most of my, well, thank you, These Cuts by JC. Thank you. Growing up, I made a lot of money. I had a lot of good jobs. But you know what I spent a lot of my money on? I spent a lot of our money on traveling. When people when I look back, or people look back at my past records and see how much money I've made in my lifetime, they're like, what did you do with all that money? I made a lot of good money. But when you look back on it, I have no materialistic things to show you, to prove to you how much money I've actually made in my lifetime. The only way I can prove how much money I've made is by my experiences. Me and my wife and my family, we spent most of our money on traveling and experiencing new places, new ideas. We was like, Star Trek kind of. We burnt a lot of engines up in a lot of those caravans because we've traveled the country. We spent a lot of time traveling the country. If I wasn't at work earning the money, I was spending it on gasoline and travel all the time because I wanted to know more. And with that being said, now I have a brain full of knowledge that's priceless. I could have purchased this to show you where my money went, But all of that travel and experience and knowledge from being on the road is right here. And I get a chance to share that with my children, share that with you guys, so you don't make the same mistakes that I made. So now that I am at this age, I'm realizing I've been living other people's dreams. Maybe this was my father's dream, a little bit of my mother's dream, a lot of my friends' dreams as I was coming up, but very little of all of that is mine. How many people have parents that wanted you to go to college to be XYZ? Your father may be a lawyer and he wants you to be a lawyer, and he has set up schooling for you to be a lawyer. He's going to pay for it, everything, whatever. You don't want to be a lawyer. You want to be a rock star, right? As you get older, you realize, that's not my dream. Maybe you did end up going to college to be that lawyer because your dad wanted you to be a lawyer and you thought you wanted to be a lawyer, but end up finding out that's not at all what you wanted to do at all. Because while you're a lawyer, you're always thinking about something else. You're daydreaming about who you really want to be. You really want to be a farmer. You really want to be a homesteader. You really want to be a gardener. You really want to be out on this lands with your hands knee deep in the dirt. That's probably where you really want to be. But once you become part of the corporate world, it's hard to come out of that because people think you're nuts. If you're a high powered attorney and all you want to do is live away from people and plant food, your close friends will think you're nuts. So I didn't want to keep you guys, really. I just came in here for a hot, quick second. Just share that with you, that maybe your dreams are not your dreams. Maybe you're living someone else's idea of what success looks like or feels like. And it's time to really start thinking about, damn, is this really what I want? Or is this really what I want them to think of me? Hmm. That's all. Everybody have a wonderful morning. That's all I wanted to say. I want to say thank you to everybody that gave the super chats. I want to thank all my moderators. Thank everybody for coming in. If you can, I'm not even going to really address the room right now because I wanted to just get that off my chest, and maybe that'll touch on somebody's brain. Please put your testimony in the comments below so I can read them and respond. I really want to respond to this one, but in the chat, I won't see everybody's testimony. I won't see everybody's dreams and wishes. If you can please just type that in the chat so I can actually address you one-on-one instead of me trying to look and see with my bad eyes and then keep up with the chat, because this is kind of an important video for me. All right. Everybody have a wonderful morning. Laird Farmer 73. I love you all. Please leave your testimony, your comment in the comment section below. I want this to be short so I can just get that message across. Stop living somebody else's dream. It's time to wake up. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay warm. I love you, and I'm out.